There is something wrong with the sound on this tablet that I'm using. I don't know why. So this is kind of a sound check. And this is, yeah, I was stuck in over 20 years. I've become old now. Ever since I was 15, I got stuck in that biofeedback caused tension. But I did get out of it for many months. I mean, I definitely fully back to how everyone else is type of out of it. Like before, even say maybe after college, I was like, I'm basically getting out of it just because I was like kind of like more focused on a little bit more of the thoughts while not fully feeling tension, but I didn't never even knew, or there was the residuals of tension, like, I'm saying I'm full out of it, right? But because I did it for so long and everything, it's still definitely a fear. And so that is one of the ways to maintain staying out of it, especially if you're on the verge of it. You're starting to feel some tension. You're like, oh God, is this the biofeedback tension? You don't want to start feeling that tension and get stuck in that tension. So, yeah, saying to yourself, oh, I'm not even afraid of it. And then you just go on continuing to think about everything that everyone else thinks about, which is everything else. Just they're not thinking about getting stuck in tension or biofeedback, knowing that exists, just as you were born and how you always were until you got stuck in tension because you did biofeedback wrong. And turned into a zombie where you were feeling this tension and didn't know, and all your thoughts went into that, and you barely talk. It was a nightmare, and that actually exists. That can actually happen, and that's the reality of what happened to me. I went from a genius to kind of like a zombie, in pain, and that's very real. That is something that can happen to people because it definitely happened to me. I'm probably the only one that did it through biofeedback. I mean, I was kind of cheating the system by trying to because what I wanted the waves to go up and down real fast. And if you do muscle flexation, that's what will happen. The electrodes, the brain waves would go up and down real fast, but it also will read as muscle tension. So I kind of just tried to do it as hard as I could without it reading as muscle tension. Eventually I just was like this zombie doing this, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do? Like, trying to focus hard, and trying to squeeze my brain on the inside, and I kept doing it, and then I'm feeling the tension that I'm trying to create, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to feel this tension at all. It hurts. And then I'm just totally focused on it, and I don't know how to not think. I don't know how to not feel it, and the nightmare started. That's where the nightmare began. And then I went from the voted most funniest kid in my class, super intelligent, figuring out anything, whatever, was bound to be great, to basically mentally handicapped, just a nightmare. So, and then my life was just like, how do I not do this? Living this nightmare. Anyways, so, but yeah, the definitely out of it and staying out of it is where you are, deep in those thoughts, so deep in the thoughts that your feelings that are supposed to connect to your thoughts, as they do for everyone else, anyone watching this, that's just how it works. They're not even focused on seeing out of their eyeballs. They just, whatever is being seen is also being thought, and it also flows with their emotions. That's all just the automatic way humans function. Right? That's the machine. And so that's what you want. I knew what I did, and I knew that, and like definitely now I know for sure. I'm just saying within the first few years, I probably didn't even know how the fuck I didn't, how they just, like, I was just like, how do you do it where you're not stuck in, like, how do you, you're just automatically thinking and feeling about what is in existence. You just don't do tension. What? Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? So obviously I know the difference. I know exactly what I did and the difference and what in totally what you do when you're not doing it. So, but definitely stay in that thoughts constantly. You want more thoughts. Never be like, oh my god, I want to slow. I don't want to have to think too much. I just want to think a little bit. Enough to get by. You want as much thoughts as possible. You never want to fucking get into that position where you get stuck in thoughts. So and thought flow also helps very much so if you're staying relaxed. So definitely you want as much thoughts as possible. You get even more thoughts if you relax more. So I don't know what else. Yeah. And as smart as I am, I was a genius before I got stuck in it, and then I am a genius out of it. I hate to brag, but it's kind of like intelligence levels are tough because they're hard to prove. You can see in my sporting ability, even without trying, I'm winning all the trophies, okay? My forte before was actually my brain. I was super smart. And boy, in inside tension, just like everyone, would become super dumb. All their thoughts are not there anymore. What makes you smart is your ability to think, right? Well, yeah. See what happens. You do all your thoughts become the tension. It's a living nightmare. Plus, even the tension itself is painful. It's the worst pain in the history of mankind. And whether this is a simulation or not, I say, oh my God, the ones who created this simulation, that was something that you should have disallowed from being possible. Okay? I'm actually doing a little bit of the click because I think the sound's not working. So and I don't know why it wouldn't be working, but I think this video is going to be garbage. But my point is, as smart as I am, I could still get stuck in that tension. And of course, unfortunately, I shouldn't fear it, but, how could I not fear it, right? So, in the fear of it really induces the possibility of being able to get stuck in it. As you start fearing it, then, you could get stuck in it. But anyways, even me, who knows the difference completely, if I get stuck in it, I can it's very difficult for me to revert out of it because the feeling is so different, the thoughts are so different being stuck in it. Different in that your thoughts are just stuck in what you're feeling, and they're real slow because like somebody's talking to you, it's kind of like you're kind of secondarily understanding what they said, so everything's it's not just immediate back and forth, right? I'm just saying, even me, super smart, if I get stuck in it, it's a challenge to have to be able to get out of it. So yeah, it's real, and it has nothing to do with me being dumb that you get stuck in it. That's not how it works. Okay, good enough.